What's up, video world? You know, this is Charles with Willis Racing. I had a fellow call inquiring about prices to do an engine, and there's no way to explain that because you got different labor rates, you got shipping rates, you've got a few different things to do as far as when you decide to build an engine. So the best way I could do it to give out the best numbers for him, and I decided, you know what, since he asked about that, I'll just make a video of it. And I actually put together a motor yesterday. And so I'm just gonna make a video and I'm gonna go straight to the internet and show, give a good analysis of what it costs to actually build a motor. But of course, you got builders out here with different labor rates, different charges, different things that they want to do. But this will kind of give you kind of a basic of where you need to be, showing the factual numbers of basically the parts. So here we go. Depending on who they order parts, or I'm gonna get it right on the internet here. It's gonna be the best way to do it. And let's see, there you go. This is from, let me get this thing squared away here. I don't want to get squared away. There we go. This is from Hayabusa Zone APE. All right. So, depending on what a person wants, say they just want a entire, what we call ready to go kit. You see, we can go down in here, and if you look right there, 99 through 07, you got a choice between using JE pistons or Wilsoners. All right. This is for basic 1397. This is actually the same exact motor that I received, and I put it together last night. I got the motor, or the kit basically, just like it is. I use Wilsoner 84 millimeters. And of course I have another block that I had that I use. So I set the Wilsoner on the side, but I had a straight Suzuki block already bored and honed to 84 millimeter that I use. As you can see, there's a price difference if you go in between JE and if you use Wilsoner pistons. And like I say, I have to, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It's Wilsoner, whichever one it may be. But there you go. You can actually see let me find me a pointer here so I can get me a pointer and make it easy for me. To sit here and do this. All right, this is for your block and your pistons. On this particular kit here, you see right there, 1397 JE pistons, 84 millimeter, 13 5 to 1 compression, 1339. 1339. Now that's just for your block and your pistons. All right. Now, if you see down here in the blue, same thing, 1397 piston. This is for an outright, no exchange. So this is when you don't send in your block. This is when you don't send in your block as a core. This whole kit will cost you $1,899. So just say $1,900. And so that's basic cost of your block, your pistons. Now, of course, you can go up and down. It's depending on your money. You can choose, if you go over here to the other side, here's the same kit, $13.97, 12.5 to 1, $13.99. Outright, $2,000. Basically, just say $2,100. These are using CP pistons, so it depends on what piston that you're going to use, because you're going to end up with different prices. But as you can see, those are actual prices right there. That's where you're going to end up. And now that's without your base gasket. That's without your head gasket. So for both of those, add 50 another. Just to clear it all, add another $175 for your base gasket and your head gasket. So that'll give you an idea. Now, as you can see, the more you want, or put it like this, 1507 1600 engine kit. You can, and now you throw in the block, the pistons, the rod, and a crank. You throw in that. Look where your price jumped to. $37.45. Whether it's Gen 1, Gen 2, you're going to be somewhere around in there. When you get up here and you want to go into a stage 2, which is APE. Well, so look, you're talking, by the time you get where you need to be, you're talking $5,000. So you could be at $5,000 and all you have is a block, a piston, some rods, crank, independent of what you want to do with them. So you see how expensive this process got, and you haven't even added in, like I say, the labor and a lot of the parts that you need. We haven't, matter of fact, we're gonna speak of cams. Let's go right now, because I got cams yesterday too. So let's just do this here, and we'll go and find some cams. All right. I only use web cams. I don't use any other cams. So let's just say these cams right here. These are little simple cams right here to put in. No big deal. But if you notice, even these simple cams, it says right here, require performance valve spring kit. All right. So now you're looking at another $200 to the price of these cams. Well, if you look over here, they got these cams placed out right now. Hard welds, $1,100. Just say $10.95. They got it right here. If you want them billet, $11.75. And now make sure you got to add in core cost on this, because they need core. So now you add in your shipping and your handling both ways. So as you can see, let's just say right now with just those two items sitting on some cams, you're at $6,000. You're at $6,000 and you haven't even got your mechanics labor in that, and then you got to worry about, like I say, you still have some other shipping stuff that you have to do. So you're at $6,000 right now. Just that simple. It is what it is. And so I believe that these guys was calling me and they were asking about really, why is it so expensive? Well, it's not. It's not. I haven't even put my labor in here. I'm at $6,000 and I haven't even put my labor in here. I haven't even, if I had to, just think, if you brought me your motorcycle raw, rolling on its tires and wheels, I've got labor from the time I start off taking the engine out and breaking it down just to put this stuff in. So I'm, you got to look. A mechanic can't work for free. It just don't work that way. Some guys, I believe, think it works that way. It does not work that way. Whenever you decide that you're going to build an engine, I know most dealerships around is 100 plus an hour. I don't charge quite that much. I own my building. I own my parking lot. So I can do different things. I don't have that overhead like that. But most anybody that's building, that's in a retail spot, he's paying. He's got so much overhead that he's got to charge to pay his bills. And I don't get me wrong, I don't blame him for the work that we're doing on these engines. If a guy's not charging somebody, an individual that walks in and says, "Hey, I want to get my," and I'll just stick with what I just built last night, what I just got parts for, a simple 1397. That's all this is. It just was a simple 1397. And so basically I'm basing it off this. I had a 1397. By the time I got everything to the door, because I got gaskets, base gaskets, head gaskets with it, the whole block, the pistons, the rings, which all came in a kit, everything. By the time I got done with everything, got the shipping here, everything, that ended up being I want to say it was $1836 to the door. All right. I also had a set of cams come from Webcam. All right. I sent them cores, so that was shipping out, them packaging them up and shipping them back. Who do you think's paying for all that shipping? The Webcam's not paying for that shipping. That shipping's going to be on the customer. I think it was $48 out, and probably going to be the same coming back. So let's just say $100 just tied up in shipping out and back, which it was. And the cams, as I say, let's get right here and look. The cams were basically $1,100 because I had hard wheels. So right there, $1,200 in cams. Let's just break it off even money. Let's say already, just in this simple build, no big deal, I'm already sitting at $5,000, and it's just a simple 1937, where I don't have to do any machining to the motor. I don't have to do any honing. I don't have to do anything. This is just the kit you get. And if you have the proper tools and you know how to measure and you know how to check your valve clearances and do everything, you can sit this right in there. And by the way, I just said something else. Another thing that you're either going to have, or you're going to have it. There's no way you're going to put your cams in, put this whole motor together, and you didn't buy any valve shims. You don't have a shim kit. So go on and throw you another $100 in. 150. Matter of fact, just say 200, so you can get a couple of kits, and you might need to special order some shims, because a lot of times you get caught on in-between numbers that work out better. So throw you another couple of $100 in there. So let's just say $5,200 is where I'm at now. Um, um, now you're starting to see where a price of a motor is going. This is expensive. This is not something that is not going to cost you money. I'm just going to say it the way it is. This is something that's going to cost money. And like I say, I'm at $5,200 right now, and I haven't made a dime labor-wise. And just think, when I get the motor complete and done. So anyway, I got this. This is a simple 1397, and I started on it last night, yesterday, and there it is right there. I've done all my little test work on it. I started it. Let's see. Yeah, I've done all my little test work on it. I started it up last night, and she fired up. Sounds good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start this bad baby now. But this is what this is: a 1397 webcams. And I'm really not done. I don't like to. I think I could get some better cams in it. So, I'm gonna play around with it a little bit and see what I can't do. But let's see. Let's get this thing fired up. And that's what that is. That's a simple 1397. Got 2 set of webcams sitting on it. What else would be special about this motor? Nothing. It's just going to be a nice little street bike motor. Nothing. Now, if a fella come in and he say, well, hey, I want that motor. The first thing, and if he looks at me and he's say, well, I'm just going to put it in my stock bike. I'm going to say, well, you're going to waste your money. That's what I would tell him right off. Just leave that motor right there and just leave your stock motor in there, because you're going to make a little bit more horsepower. You got to get the bike. So you got to get some things done to your chassis so that the bike will leave. It'll do what it need to do. And that could be anything from, putting you a shock on, lowering your suspension, whatever it may be. But this is expensive to do, and it just costs money to do it, and that's all I can say. And as you can see, I just showed you the factual numbers out of the book of what this engine sitting right here costs. And this is a low budget, basically, engine that needs to go into a stock bike with a little bit of chassis work around it, and the thing will get out there and go. Now that's up to a customer, what he wants to spend and how he wants to have his chassis set up. But don't do what some people do. They want to get a motor in their bike, and oh yeah, I'm going to go and do this and do that. And you look at them and you say, well, what are you going to do about your chassis? Oh, I'm just going to leave the chassis the same. Well, that means he's probably going to run slower than what he was running prior, because he's got a motor now that is going to overpower his chassis. So he's going to have that front wheel in the air. He's going to be spinning if he don't have the right clutch set up. He's going to be doing this. So it's not just the motor that you need to have worked on to have a fast motorcycle. You got to have a chassis up under the thing. I'd rather not have a motor in my bike and have a stock motor. I'd rather have a heck of a chassis and a stock motor than a built motor and no chassis. Now you heard what I just said. I'd rather have a stock motor with a bad chassis up on it, a chassis that will just let me sit down and get up out of there. I'd rather have a stock motor and a mean chassis than a mean motor and no chassis. Because without no chassis, that mean motor ain't going anywhere. So enough ranting and raving about that, but that's just the facts, and I just showed now. I just showed off of the computer. That's just the facts. That's just what it costs to build a motor. And like I say, this is a cheap motor. This is just a cheap motor. And if you ain't got $6,000 to put into a cheap motor, this is just a cheap motor. There's nothing special about it. This thing is cheap. So anyway, hope that answers people's questions. I know it had to answer because I just showed you from the facts on the computer. That's what it costs for these parts. And like I say, don't leave your mechanic out of it, especially if he's a good mechanic and he's worth going to, because that $100+ an hour that you're paying him, it's going to pay off. I'm telling you. I'll say it again. Don't leave your engine builder, mechanic, or whomever out your financial equation when you are putting an engine together. Because if you pay him right, you will end up with the right stuff, the way things are supposed to be. He is a person that you are paying. And I'll explain it this way. My customer deserves 100% of my effort when I am putting an engine together for him. Now, as a mechanic, I also deserve 100% effort in being compensated financially for doing the work. Doesn't that make sense to everybody out there? That's just the best way I can explain and say it. And anybody that's ever done some business with me, they are pretty sure that that's what is happening. They know that that's what's happening for a fact. I don't have to rush to put these things together. I'm not making a living putting these things together. I'm doing it more, man, I like it. It's fun. So, and I'll be the first one to tell someone, don't do it. Now, here's the other part of it. If you financially don't have the money to do this, don't do it. This is racing. Parts break and things happen, and this is the biggest waste of money that I've ever wasted in my life. I'm telling you, and I love it. And I own 7, 8 motorcycles myself. Matter of fact, I own probably another 7, 8 I don't even ride. So if you put that together, I know I own 16, 17 motorcycles. Most of them I don't even ride. The ones that I don't ride them because I've got all this other money tied up with these race bikes. The biggest, look at the money I've wasted. Motors, engines, motorhome, trucks, trailers. Got all that stuff. Just to go racing. But we love it. And we're going to keep going. But it's the biggest waste of money I ever... I guess I could be driving around a Rolls Royce or something if I wanted to. I got it tied up in motorcycles. But anyway, this costs money, people. And that's what I got from when I got some texts and phone calls. Why is it so expensive? What is this? What is that? This costs money. It's as simple as that. So, only thing I can tell a person to do is in a lot of cases, do their homework so they can find out kind of where their money needs to be, finances, and then get with your mechanic. And just like I said, If you be 100, you do 100 with your mechanic. If he's an honest person or an honest mechanic, straight up from top to bottom, then he's going to be 100 and do 100 with you. And that's just the way it goes. And some people definitely ought to see that, especially with me. You send me right here on YouTube. Send me send me something where I don't know how to put in a transmission. As soon as I do a bike, that's how those videos ended up on YouTube in the first place. As soon as I do a motorcycle, or something comes in, a customer comes in and he needs a transmission, I get the video equipment out. I made a video, and I make it for everybody. If you got the tools to do it, you have the knowledge and understand, I make it for everybody. Don't bring it to me. Don't bring it to me unless you're willing to pay, because it costs money. It costs a labor rate to do it. I'd rather show you a video of how it's done, and then you can go do it yourself. That's just the way I work. So, because once you bring it to me, sure, that means you can't do it, and that means you should be giving me 100 as well as I'm giving you 100 to get it done the right way. That's all I can say about that. But anyway, this is just a simple 1397 is what it is, and I'm gonna end up putting this motor in something. Don't know what I'm gonna put in yet, but I'm gonna put it in something. Anyway, this is Charles Willis Racing. Need something? Want to know something? If I don't know, I'll send you to, and getting back to my point about this, if I don't know, I'm going to definitely send you to somebody that I believe knows. And we've got people out here that you can get on the internet. You can get out here, and I tell everybody, I said, hey, you're only fast till the fastest guy come along. And you want to get into that category of, I'm the fastest, I would say, don't come to me. You better go to DME. You better go to Rodney Wilford. You better go to HTP. You better go to, what's that? They got one, WMS. You go to somebody like that. If you want to rule the world, you need to be, you got to go to somebody like that. I ain't even going to try to even take your money. I ain't even going to get into no racing, high dollar situation with you. If you want to go rule the world, I cannot build you a motor to rule the world. You have to go to those people over there. Look them up. I just named some of the fastest people in the country, and look them up, and you can go and have it. Man, just rule the world. Like I said, rule the world. Anyway, this is Charles Willis Racing. You guys have a good day, and bye-bye.